Hi, everybody. It's Leanne again.
And I'm Helene. Welcome to Step Into Next, where we move together from what was to what's next.
In both business and life. Nice to see you again.
I know, I love this.
So fun. It's like coffee talk.
It's like coffee. Oh, it's kind of like all of our Zoom meetings. We just decided to record.
Yeah, in person though, because Zoom is not in person.
Yeah.
Could we do this on Zoom? Wouldn't be as fun.
If this was on Zoom, then I wouldn't have had the beautiful gift that you gave me this morning of seeing the insane snack bag that you brought for our 2 hour hang. And never in my life have I seen this. And I've known you for a long time, so I know you like snacks. I know you're afraid of being hungry at some point in your life, but I mean, how long have you had this plastic bag?
Okay. So
Decades?
what have you've known me a long time.
And
And
I think that you've known the bag longer.
probably. Actually, I know. Because I don't want to waste. So I don't throw anything out. I don't throw
Yeah.
the bags out. Um, Ever since you've known me, without question, if you had opened any of my purses or bags,
Yeah.
there is a snack bag
Which
in
I actually
there.
think is fine, but this is like a standalone industrial bag. I don't even know where you got this. It's almost like an IKEA bag that's full of snacks. And the things I saw in there was a can of tuna.
It's a
There
good
was
protein.
a lot of lean protein, jerky, fine, collagen peptides, electrolytes. I'm supportive. I think there was maybe like an instant coffee packet. There was green
Tea,
tea. There were lozenges. I don't know, probably some
avocado,
a full avocado. Yep.
Mary's Gone crackers.
Perishables. I think there was a yogurt in there. There was enough spoons to feed a small kindergarten for
Because
snack
I
time.
collect them, I don't waste.
And then one of the things that our friend pointed out is the salt packets that you have too. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I like salt.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of salt.
nor should you be. It's good for you.
Okay, here's what I want to say in defense of my snack bag. If the world ended right now,
Yeah.
everyone in this room would be able to survive for 2 fucking weeks on my
If
snack
the
bag.
world ends, I want to go with it.
No, you don't. I want to fight
I
and
liked I
survive.
like writing books with you, building companies with you. I don't want to recreate the world. I think if
My
someone
God,
tried
can you imagine if we were in charge of recreating the world?
I know that I'm like a good builder of
You
things,
really are.
and I do think that I would be a good choice.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to do it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, then, if we don't want to do that, let's talk about some other stuff.
I don't think I'm done with the snack bag.
Leave me alone.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
There was a
Well,
yogurt. There were crackers. You did the crackers in the
oh my God.
yogurt. Yeah, which I'd never seen before. And then I started doing it and I didn't hate it.
I told you.
Yeah.
And it's not even noon. So it's like,
But a question, is it always Mary's crackers or could it be a different cracker?
um, within reason, but I really seem to prefer Mary's. They have a good crunch. I also make healthy nachos with Mary's. So
No,
instead of, I know,
absolutely not.
literally
Don't ruin nachos for me, Leanne.
I'm sorry. But if you ever need healthy nachos,
I don't.
okay, but you might
No.
use Mary's
If I'm
Gone.
eating nachos, maybe I'm hungover, which, that's
Fine.
interesting.
Yeah.
I want real cheese. I want real chips. I want guac if we're feeling rich and some sour cream, maybe.
Want to know something funny about me? I love avocados. I eat them almost every day, but I hate guacamole. Isn't that weird? It's the
Yes.
the the flavor of the guacamole
So
and it.
it's some maybe is it the salt in the guacamole? You
No, I like
like to put
salt.
your own
We already
salt
went
in.
over this.
You put your own salt in the guac
Yeah, I do that,
that you
but
pull out of your purse. Also, there were nuts in the bag. There was like multiple tea packets in the
you
bag.
already said that.
I know. I am blown away by what just happened.
Okay. Well, could we start our podcast episode for
What's
this?
the weirdest thing that when you went into the snack bag and you
You're like
pulled
a
it
dog
out?
with a bone, dude.
I just like I think people need to know and I want to know what people have in their snack bags now. Like I actually think this is taken over as a priority for the day.
Most people carry emergency almonds or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Which to be
carry
clear, you don't have.
yes, I do.
Nope, I saw peanuts.
Oh, peanuts, yeah. I carry an emergency garbage bag of food, like
But then you
slung over my
also
shoulder.
brought a shopping bag of food.
That's the other stuff.
There were cherries.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I haven't even looked in that bag yet.
Well, the good news is you'll benefit from it. Like I said, you can have a snack
I'm
with me.
actually, cherries make my lips feel funny. So I think I'm going to
Oh, you
pass.
might have a mild allergy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
They're a nice little treat,
Well,
little pop.
now I'll talk about that as like
Blueberries,
my new
blueberries are
allergy.
good for you.
Okay. Generally, or for me
I've
in
got some
general?
blueberries in there too.
Oh, thank God.
Uh-huh.
Thank God. I haven't made it to the perishables yet. So something to look forward to. But I guess we can talk about what we came here to talk about today, Leanne, which is tell me.
Well, we came here to talk about figuring out the why behind finding your voice and using it. In this case, in your case, in my case, helping you to write a book.
Yep. That was
But
fun.
it's finding your why to find your voice, I think is the best way to say it.
Okay. Finding your why to find your voice. I'm here for it.
Or finding your why for finding your voice.
Yeah.
Really what is motivating you to do all this stuff? Because a lot of people don't do it. Most people don't do it.
Totally. And I think one of the things that we talked about that I still find completely shocking is that, and this was actually probably most evident for me at my book launch party, that was so much fun,
So fun.
is how impressed people are with the fact that I have written a book and gotten it published.
Totally.
Like when I meet people and I'm like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I built a company for 10 years. We franchised. We had a Peloton of rowing. And yeah, I also wrote a book. They're like, you wrote a book? And nobody really ever asks about the other part of building a company. There's something that people are fascinated with about writing a book. And 9 times out of 10, people say, well, I have a book in me, or I've always thought about writing a book, or I started writing a book, or, I think one day I'm going to write a book. And I think it is truly fascinating. I wonder what you think that says about our society, that people are so enamored with the kind of romantic idea of being an author, where, and I'll share from my own perspective, and I know that yours probably is a little bit different. I identify with being an entrepreneur. I identify with being a builder. And for me, the book writing process and the project was awesome. And we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about why I committed to it and why we ultimately saw it through. But for me, it was such a small piece of my life, even the entire time that we were doing it. Because for me, building the company was the thing that I was doing
Sure.
that was hard and challenging and creative and maddening. The book was, frankly, it was 90 minutes once a week when you made me hop on the phone and talk about this. And so I'm still like, my mind is just still blown by that dichotomy of people's reaction to this project.
Well, you bring up something interesting, which as part of this why, I think there are a few layers to it. So you figure out why you want to write a book, which we'll talk about. We've come up with a bunch of potential whys. But also then why you continue when it gets hard. And in an upcoming episode, we're definitely going to talk about some of the hard shit with it. Why it's successful and why it gets to publication. So I just think that there's a ton to this, and it's funny because in the age of AI, I get kind of pissed off because it is true now. More and more people think that they're going to write a book, and they do it like with AI. And to me, that again, we'll talk about this in upcoming episodes, but that's not writing a book in the real way. I mean, you and I wrote this book every minute, every day. Well, I wrote it every day. You wrote it once a week.
Yeah. Thank you for your support.
No, but you worked on it every day too. So I just think that I'm kind of rambling right now.
I love that you think I worked on it every day. That means I did a good job
You really did.
marketing the
Yeah.
work I did.
You did. I mean, you sold it to me, babe.
Great.
Like,
That's
for
all
sure.
that really matters.
But okay, you tell me, because I don't think this is something we've ever actually talked about, the nitty gritty. After I forced you, because everybody out there knows I forced you to do this.
Yeah.
But why? Why did you actually sign on and say, okay, let's do this?
The drugs. I think it was the drugs.
I don't do drugs.
I know, but I still somehow think you somehow got
Slipped
me.
something
It
in
was
your
it was like a
wine?
moment of weakness that I said yes to this, and then I mean, one of my fatal flaws is that when I say I'm going to do something, I actually do it.
You really do.
I know. I very much stand behind my word, which sometimes becomes a problem if I end up not wanting to do something in the future. But anyway, that's in a separate podcast. We'll get Mel Robbins on for that one.
Totally.
But I think there was something that sparked curiosity in me around, I'm going to be honest. I actually never had a dream to be an author. Never. And I actually think that is an unpopular opinion or an unpopular belief. I think a lot of people do have a dream to be an author.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny for me to say that because my dad's actually written books. My
Your mom's writing a book,
my mom's writing a book. My
grandma.
grandma's written a book. Obviously, I've written a book now. But for me, it was more curiosity about. I'm a lifelong learner. I love to learn. I love to figure things out. I thought it was cool. Like, I thought it was interesting. And I think I liked telling the story. I think I really enjoyed telling my own story in a way that I thought people could maybe get something in their own life, like get something positive for themselves out of it, maybe help them, maybe teach them something, maybe allow them to feel less alone and more seen.
But what was your why along the business journey way? Because I think that that says a lot in terms of you were when we were starting this out, City Road was still really humming along, but there were signs that things were going to start to potentially change in terms of the business, right? So was the book was your why with the writing the book any part of okay, maybe there's a little bit of a different future for me, or were you not thinking about that at the time?
It's a really good question.
Thank
And
you.
one that when I try and put myself back into 2020, I'm living in Miami, I'm talking to you as I'm getting my steps in on the boardwalk, and I'm telling you these stories. The company was at such an interesting point. I don't yet think that I had the foresight to know that it was going to end. It was going to end brutally, and that I would need something as my own, something that was just Helene's, that actually wasn't City Row, that wasn't the founder of City Row, but that was actually just Helene Naps. I don't think I
Mm,
had the true foresight in my own experience just yet. But what I did know from my just life and being around people and entrepreneurs is that I knew that it was going to end at some point. And the reason I knew that is because we weren't building a lifestyle business. We were on the venture highway and we were moving quickly. And so
mhm.
I just knew that it was going to end eventually, and that when it ended, it might be cool to have the stories written down as legacy, maybe.
Yeah, but isn't it funny though that making waves in a lot of ways
Title of my
actually
book available on Amazon.
where everywhere books are sold. Um,
Thank you. And Audible,
you're
which
welcome.
I taped myself.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
You did.
recorded that.
You did a great job recording that
Oh my
audiobook.
God.
Anyway, because you have a good speaking voice.
Thank you.
Um, but what I was going to say is, isn't it funny that Making Waves ended up being really did actually become the true transition of the City Row Helene to the Helene of today? And this just popped into my head.
Ooh.
In a lot of ways, it was my transition too.
Yeah.
So there was Uplift, and then, I was working for City Row and doing some other consulting, but still kind of floundering a little bit, figuring my own shit
Yeah.
out in my transition. We wrote that book together. It like clarified a lot for me too. Isn't that funny? And
That's
here we are.
amazing. You're
Now,
welcome is I think the
yes,
answer that you're looking for.
thank you
Oh,
so
yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
Here we go again,
Yeah.
loving each other.
Yeah. I'm so glad to see you.
But
It is interesting.
yeah. And I mean, I think if we want to offer people a real sense of looking at their why, and again, I think this can apply to not just writing books, but to starting a podcast like we're doing right now, to
Are we taping a podcast?
yes, a
That's
world
amazing.
famous podcast. So
What's it
far.
called?
That's TBD.
Okay.
Could you not bring that up? Thank you.
Sorry.
That's my trigger point.
Okay.
Um, we came up with a
Yikes.
few
Where are the
whys.
snacks, guys? Where are the
I
snacks?
know. I'm gonna need a snack after this. Maybe my blood sugar is low.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, but I'm not hangry and I won't take it out on you. Okay, so a few whys. Let's stay on track
Okay,
here.
sorry.
It's fine. Let's talk through the whys
Yeah.
about building your should we call it your mouthpiece? No, that sounds
I
weird.
mean,
Like,
before we put a name on it, I think what it ended up being for me, and again, I didn't have the clear crystal foresight when I jumped in and said yes to the project, but I knew that it was going to be creative and it was fun and it was a collaborative experience with a friend of mine telling the story. It was going to be my own thing.
mm-hmm.
And what I didn't know that emerged later that I can say emphatically now, for me, it was the most cathartic thing that I could have done for myself to get through the hard moments. And the moments got really dark, they got really hard.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just a matter of when you talk through something, it's cathartic. It was also it was empowering for someone to listen
Hmm.
and dialogue about it. You also challenged me to think deeper. And I remember the notes in the document being like, but how did that make you feel? And I was like, fuck you. And so, like, I didn't want to go there, right? I didn't want to go into the dark feelings that I had about what it was like to tell the investors that no one was getting a single dollar back, or what it was like to fire all of my friends that worked for us. But by putting it on paper was a level of processing, and that was really beautiful. So I got to release through writing, which was incredible. And then I think the thing that I did not yet know, right? When people say, well, why did you write a book? My answer today is I don't know why I started, but what it ended up being was a light that I got to look forward to
Mm.
when everything else was really dark professionally. And
Beautiful imagery.
I know,
It's
should clip
beautiful.
that line.
Yeah.
So it was something light for me. And it was also something that, as someone who is a driver and a builder, and I pride myself on my work, it was something that I could be excited about
Sure.
when the thing that I had spent 10 years building went to zero.
Yeah.
And
And, and
it was
I
a
mean, that's it.
relaunch.
Yeah.
It was my relaunch. It was my personal relaunch for my brand as a professional businesswoman.
I love that. Yeah. And what again, this applies to so many different things, but I think the common denominator is finding your voice in some way to
Yeah,
tell your story. Um because I see this too as, especially when women tell their stories, when they're vulnerable enough to tell them, that might inspire somebody else to tell
totally.
their story.
That's what I'm
And
hopeful for.
then, yeah, and then we have strength in numbers. And that's when we actually get power in society.
I
Now,
love power.
that's a whole other podcast that
Yeah.
we're going to have to
Power. It's called power.
it's called women's
Wielding
power,
power. Wielding
women
power.
wielding power.
Oh, women wielding power.
Ooh,
Oh, that's nice.
trademarked.
Okay.
Okay, but
It takes
let's get
longer than
back to
that,
our
but
whys.
yeah.
Okay, so build, transition, or relaunch your personal brand.
Totally.
Create spin-off businesses, services, or products.
Yeah.
Create thought leadership and expertise. Lots of people want to get out there on the speaking circuit. There, by the way, there are countless opportunities to speak at companies. There are literally people, I don't know if you know this, that I just winked at you.
I know. I was like, is there like an underlying meaning that I'm not picking up on right now? Okay. Because I don't get it.
I winked at you because you taught me this. I'm pretending.
We're going to need to probably pause.
No, no, no. We're
We're
good.
good. Do you need a tissue?
I have overactive tear ducts
We
and
know.
my nose is running. No,
Do you
sorry.
want some peanuts?
I'm no, that would make more of a mess. I
Okay.
winked at you because you actually taught me this, but there are people out there that recruit, like they work for corporations to
Oh,
find
uh-huh.
speakers,
Totally.
basically. So I'm pretending like that was
And
my
this is
own.
how we're going to get speaking gigs.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I think writing a book is a great way, or
I agree.
sharing your voice in some ways.
There's also this element of, and I think I kind of hit on this a little bit, but legacy
Yeah.
and like credibility
Yes.
is the other piece of it. And I think it was the credibility piece that probably subconsciously drove me a little bit, where again, I didn't know how or when or why or under the circumstances how it would happen. I knew that my days as being the CEO of City Row were numbered. I kind of always knew that. And that's how I ran and celebrated the moments of building the business. But I was like, okay, when I'm no longer the CEO of City Row, at least I'll be an author. Honestly, that was something I
Fair
thought
enough.
about
Yeah.
a lot. And I think it's actually completely insane on some level how much credit we give people who have written a book, especially because some people don't put that much effort into it, right? Some books are amazing.
Okay, that leads me to actually an interesting point slash question. I believe with building a business for sure, with writing a book, with starting a podcast, whatever the heck you're doing, you have to really want to do it and be
Yeah.
all in. But I feel like this is controversial with us because Did you really want to write a book?
No,
Okay, you didn't, but then you got into it.
peer pressure.
Okay, peer pressure. I'm really good at it. I always have been, by the way.
Okay, scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
16-year-old Leanne, the best peer pressure ever.
I believe it actually.
Yeah.
I can see it. I'm glad I wasn't there for it.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to write a book at all, but I wanted some of these intangibles. I wanted the feather in my cap.
Okay.
I wanted the credibility. I wanted, dare I say, power,
Damn.
right?
That's our theme.
Right? I wanted what writing a book was going to give me. I did not want to go through the writing process. And what I learned was that going through the writing process was the biggest gift I could have given myself.
Or the biggest gift I gave you. Let's put
Okay.
it that
All
way.
right. Thank
Put a
you.
put a hook on
Thank
me.
you. Yeah.
Okay,
But I really needed it,
one thing I was thinking about, and I wrote in our trusty outline.
which I've read.
Um,
I've definitely read.
no, you did not. I gave it to you literally 5 minutes before this and made you memorize it. Okay, bye outline. Why? Okay, so I was thinking about this when we were in the process of writing the book, and you had some concerns. You got vulnerable with your personal stories pretty quickly. I made you do that pretty early
Yeah.
on. But we were writing this book in real time, like when a lot was going down with the company currently, at that time. And you were concerned, rightfully,
Yeah.
about what certain investors would think or certain stakeholders,
Yeah.
because listen, the book is really respectful, I think, of everyone, but it's also real talk. So, like, how would anybody that is in the mix of things who wants to share their voice, but even writing a blog or something, like, what's the navigation line there?
It is really hard because I went into this being like, I want to be as raw, vulnerable, transparent, authentic as humanly possible in this, or it's not worth it for me. And then, I started thinking as I was telling the stories and writing the pieces down, oh man, what if so and so reads this? Or what if this person reads it?
Totally.
And what are they going to think? Are they going to think less of me because I'm sharing that in this moment I didn't know we could do it? That was scary to think that people might judge me
Yeah.
for feelings of inadequacy that I had 6 years ago. And but those were real thoughts, and those were very valid that I needed to, one, get over, two, realize that most of these people were not going to read the book. They were not the audience necessarily. And then the other piece that I think was really hard, which, not necessarily getting into, but I actually did end up having to pare back a good chunk of stories for legal reasons.
We're gonna save it for the expose.
Oh, great. Fun.
Because
Yeah.
man, do I have some ideas for that
I
one
should have
for
read the
sure.
outline. Yeah.
Okay, so one thing we have talked about, kind of to wrap up this episode, unless we keep chatting on for hours, which we do tend to do sometimes. Um, we talked a while ago about the stuff that surprised us about the book, both of us. Like
Mm-hmm.
I said to you, I was like, it's kind of crazy how much I'm learning about myself working on your book with
Mm.
you. Like asking you questions about your life almost brought up some of my own questions about my life and vulnerability,
Oh,
which was,
interesting.
yeah, because it was the first project I'd ever written with someone else. I've always written my own stuff, but it was super interesting. So, did you find, like, what was your big surprise in any of this?
I think you asked me earlier why I think we finished the project. And we'll get into like the hardships and the bumps. And it was a bumpy road. It was a really bumpy road
Totally.
over many, many years, many iterations of both the book, the company, who we were working with. I think at some point, I was in too deep and I couldn't get out. But I think at some point it became almost like work therapy, almost
Uh,
like identity therapy.
Ooh, let's trademark that too, please.
Yeah,
Legal,
the legal
legal.
bills are
Take
definitely,
note.
yeah, legal. Um, it definitely helped me bridge my identity in some way and work through some of the work trauma
Mm-hmm.
and CEO trauma. And so then I started to like it a little bit more. I mean, I was always afraid of what people were going to think when they read it. And I still am. I still have moments where I think, wow, That was a really deep share. And there are some moments like my grandfather's story and
Yeah.
some of the ones when the wheels are like fucking coming off the car as we're driving it down the city road lane. Like there's some tough
And
stuff in
by the
there.
way, you drive like 95 miles an hour with your foot on the gas pedal the whole time. So I
Like
hope,
actually in life?
yeah,
Or
you
have you ever
do.
been in a car with me?
Yes.
When?
When you drove us out to Long Island
Oh,
at one point for some city row outing.
was that me?
Yeah.
Oh,
When we went
you
rowing.
were so hungover that day.
And I had to ride shotgun and I just fell asleep immediately. And I woke up and you were driving 100 miles an hour on the
We
LIE.
were so late.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just a little side note.
Um, oh, that was good times.
Yeah, really good times. Well, more good times to come.
Yeah, no, I think it was a good journey. I'm glad we stuck with it. I'm glad I stuck with it. I think there was enough juice there at every moment that for me kept like me really tethered to the project. And then once you've kind of poured it all out there, there's curiosity around how this is going to come together because I had no idea what it was going to be when we first started. And then I had to see it through. I was very, very book curious for my own sake.
I love that we're A/B testing as we speak. I wanted to just go like this. Like, is it Yoda that goes, the why is strong with this one? The force is strong, I think Yoda says. I've never seen a Star Wars movie in my
Then you
entire
shouldn't
life.
quote Star
Okay.
Wars.
But that's just what popped into my head, so I had to share it.
Okay.
And we
Sometimes we should talk about the filter that you're using.
and we have to end this because ever since I started crying laughing before, my nose has been running. So
Okay.
we got to go.
Well, what a great story. I think the why is really important. And I
Yes.
didn't always really appreciate how much like internal strength and discipline it took to actually get it done. And I bet, and this is a curious thing I'm going to look into, but I wonder how many people start writing a book and don't finish it. Ooh, we're gonna
Oh,
come we're gonna come back to that.
episode 3, we will have that stat.
Love it. Thanks for the chat.
Bye.